Hiya, I'm Marcus from All Ages Airsoft, and today we've got another two-parter which will be upgrading a Tokyo Marui D.O.R pistol. Today the job is fit a Maple Leaf Crazy Jet barrel, a Quantum hop rubber and a new Quantum Magnus Pro hop unit, as well as a outer barrel, uprated recoil spring and recoil spring guide assembly. So here we go. As you can see, I've already stripped the pistol, I've removed the barrel. I'm not going to bother with mucking about with this at all. We don't need to, because we're replacing the whole unit. I don't need the recoil spring because we're replacing that. So I'm going to stick those to one side. We've got the magazine, slide release, slide and grip. First thing I'm going to do is start setting up the Magnus Pro. They are quite fiddly and involved. It's a relatively easy job, but it's just a bit fiddly. You have to take your time, don't rush it. First thing I always do, sometimes you need this, sometimes you don't. It depends on the weapon system. On this occasion we do, so I'm just going to make sure that the recoil rod sits on there quite nicely, and it does, so no problem. So now I'm going to take my Allen key and just make sure that's tight. I'm not going to screw it down massively tight, but just nip it up. Right, now with the Magnus Pro, you have a number of little Allen keys all over the place. You've got them here and on the opposite side. These two and this one are all to do with locking the barrel in. You have another one underneath here, and then you have a angled one there. These are all to do with locking them into the body of the gun, because the barrel, although the outer barrel moves, the inner barrel doesn't. So we're going to slip that on, and that's quite tight, but there is movement there, so we do want that tight. So what I'm going to do, if you look at this at the moment, it's a little bit too tight, so I'm going to loosen this off a little bit, and now that sits on there. But if you look at that, at the moment, it's not level with the top rail. That is roughly level. So what we need to do is loosen off that screw, and we're going to tighten this screw, which will make this little piece of material come down, which will level it up. So we're going to pop him in, and I'm just going to use the Allen key and just gradually I'm not doing it up tight. And now if you look, this is now actually pivoted down slightly, so we've gone too far. Now we want it tight, I don't want it hugely tight. Now that's about the kind of tightness I would prefer. So I'm going to loosen this off a little bit, and I'm going to tighten this one up a little bit. We'll pop it in again. See, that's gone too tight, although the level is about right. So I'm going to loosen this one off a bit more. That's actually very nice. But now, if you look, we've got quite a bit of play left and right. We don't want that. So for now, I'm happy with that. Don't drop the unit. So now we need to take the left and right play out, which will be done by this screw and this screw. So what you want to try and do is loosen them off the same amount. So what I do is do them up so they're just tight, and then I do them about a quarter turn each time. Pop them in. Still got play. Another quarter turn. Right, now that won't go in. So we've gone too far. So now all you do is just minusculely turn each side. You must do both sides. Otherwise, you'll have the barrel actually kinked left or right. There we go. Still got a little bit of play. There we go. That's pretty good. And then what I will do, have a look. Yeah, and just tighten this up a little bit. I want it so it's there we are. I want it so it's got a little bit of friction there. And then look at that, and that to me looks pretty good. So that is now set. So now we'll remove the screws for the clamp. And then I found the easiest way is push them out from the inside. They are a little bit fiddly to get out. You don't need to remove them entirely. I personally do. That is just the way I do things. There we are. The right hand side has the adjuster built in. You don't need to remove that or take that out. I'm just going to push the other side out. And you've got your essentially hop adjuster, which is this unit here. And then I'm going to take our hop rubber. We don't need the nub. And we're going to take our barrel. Which is a maple leaf. They are a lovely, lovely Crazy Jet barrel. Make sure you get the little protrusion inside the hop rubber that goes all the way along, sitting inside the groove of the barrel, and then the rest of the rubber locks in. I tend to just have a quick look and push the hop rubber in with my thumb to check the alignment, and then push the adjuster down, slide the barrel in, and give it a little wiggle, and there we go. That's how the barrel in the hop rubber should be, like so. Then I then get one side and the other of the clamp mechanism back in. There we are. Sometimes you have to push the adjuster down. This isn't fitting, so what I'm going to do is twist the adjuster a little bit. There we go. Now we're going to pop the screws in. I'm not doing them up massively tight, first of all, because I just want to make sure it has. We'll use thumb pressure and just, you'll feel it click in. To the little groove on the side, and then I'm just gonna nip these up. Again, you don't need to do them gorilla tight, just tight. So, and then see if you've got any play. You shouldn't have. And I'll put the other side in. Make sure, yeah. Because these are machined surfaces, they can be quite tight to get in. Sometimes it requires a little bit of fine, being a little bit careful with it. You don't have to be. I'm going to loosen the other side off. There we are. Right. The trick is, because it is a machined surface and they don't give you that much wiggle room. Come on. They've got to go in square. There we are, just like that. And then pop the screw in. Now this side actually screws in to the opposite side of the adjuster. We're gonna lock that in. Like so. Now to me, what I will now do is loosen these off very, very slightly. Because to me, that hop window is not square to the hop unit. That's better. And that's quite important, because if the hop rubber, the patch, is not dead 12 o'clock in your hop unit, it will pull the BB off to the left or right, depending on which way it is. Right, so that's basically the hop unit done. So now I'm going to have a quick check. The movement we've got is at the back, not the front. And unfortunately, they don't put any adjusters in there, so you can't do anything about that. But what I am going to do is just tighten this up. That's better. Right, so that's done. You can see here that this has been pushed out. That's taking up all the play on the bottom and pushing it square. That's going to go into here. Now this is where we're going to have issues, because that doesn't fit properly. We've got, if you can see here, we've got small amounts of protrusion, and that, because this is an aftermarket outer barrel and a very nice one, it is just touching that. So I'm gonna use a needle file and just knock the edge down. Doing it very, very carefully. I don't want to take off a absolute ton of material. There we go. Right. That might need a little bit more. We're almost there. A lot of the time with jobs like this, people say, oh yeah, it should fit first time. Trouble is, you are dealing with loads of different pieces made by different manufacturers, and everybody has different tolerances. So sometimes there is quite a bit of fine fettling to do, unfortunately. I wish there wasn't, but there is. Just looking to see where it's touching. There we are. Right, the other thing you've got to watch out for now is the barrel actually there we are. Right, that is almost there. Right, push it over, and I want that, there we are, to lock in like that. Now, we will know in a few minutes if we're going to have to do any more fine fettling, because I suspect that that should be a lot looser in here, but we will see. I didn't supply this outer barrel, the customer did. So, okay. On the second part, we're going to be changing the blowback unit for a cow high capper upgraded one. We're going to fit this in. Now, whether or not we're going to get this in, I don't know.